Last time, our MC's class was under attack by the North Koreans. Gi-young, on another floor, believes the chaos caused by Jin-sun will delay the situation, hoping for military intervention due to their central location. The battle rages on, with Jin-sun narrowly evading Il-young's attacks. This infuriates Il-young, who calls him a mere squirrel. Jin-sun counters, landing his own attack. Realizing Jin-sun's strategy, Il-young uses his shadow left hand to strike. Jin-sung's heightened senses let him dodge with skill, showing how good he is in dangerous situations. Il-young has two ideas, and this one is called the left hand of the first beast, not having any rank or fight skills. Jin-sung is curious, looking at Il-young's special hand, saying he might run away. Il-young gets angry, saying he hasn't heard such things in a while. Suddenly, the ceiling glows purple, and a huge swirling hole appears. Il-young moves his hand, making shadows dance on the floors above. Gi-young is confused, wondering who made this chaos. The ceiling starts to fall, but Il-young tries to run away. Jin-sung quickly gets close, stopping him. Il-young sees Gi-young on the top floor, using the chance to escape, while Gi-young is confused. Jin-sung wants to attack Gi-young, but Gi-young moves fast. Dodging, Gi-young stands up, looking dark and scary. Il-young thanks Young, not knowing what's going on, and tells Gi-young to go to the first floor for safety. He remembers how he decided to come here with the girl and Lee Boomer, not expecting to find someone as dangerous as Jin-sung. Jin-sung's glowing with a scary red light, showing he wants to hurt anyone in his way. Gi-young doesn't believe Il-young ran because of Jin-sung, but Jin-sung comes close with his red eyes and a scary feeling around him. He wants to play with the leader, saying Il-young left because of him. Gi-young takes a metal piece from the ceiling and jumps down to get away. He moves quickly, dodging Jin-sung, who's following him like they're playing tag again. Jin-sung has a red trail behind him as he jumps, but Gi-young is too fast, dodging him easily. In the midst of a tense standoff, things were getting even more intense. Jin-sun had Gi-young by the neck, and he was teasing him about playing a super scary game involving dismemberment. Gi-young wasn't scared. He was defiant. He told Jin-sun to go play by himself and wasn't fazed at all. Jin-sun's grip got even tighter, and they were both hanging upside down in the air, supported by a metal pipe. Jian held onto it really tight so he wouldn't fall to his doom. He was determined not to be done in by someone he thought was just F-rank garbage like Jin-sun. Gi-young was a fighter, and he tried to swing and escape from Jin-sun's grasp. And just when things were getting really intense, a sword came flying in. But Jin-sun was like a ninja, effortlessly deflecting it away. This gave Jian a chance to roll with the metal piece still attached to the ceiling, and he went flying down to the first floor. Jin-sun was all excited about playing with his favorite person. Meanwhile, on the other side of the first floor, there was another commotion. A girl named Se-yoon seemed really tired, and the leader of the first squad, Haeon, looked like she was about to attack. But wait, Seung-hwa stepped in. He said they needed to protect the students, and asked how Haeon could attack someone who had fought for them. Haeon was ready to fight though. She had this cool thing called an Idea striking glove, and Seung-hwa had his own special power, an Idea, to hold her back. But guess what? Instead of attacking, Haeon told her squad to help the students who were stuck under the falling ceiling. Then she went to save another squad member, Kim Se-eun. Everyone was pretty shocked by this turn of events. And then, a woman stepped forward with a not-so-great idea. She thought they should sacrifice Sane and the boy student to save themselves. But Haeon, another strong girl, wasn't having it. She warned them not to take a step closer or she'd get tough. She explained that they had figured out who was causing all the trouble with the third squad leader. Haeon had some inside info. After making sure the other students were safe, they cleared away the debris around Kim Se-yoon. Sunhwa, one of the girls, asked what had happened. Se-yoon explained that she had trusted her squad member, Haeon, to help out. They even had a secret plan from earlier, when they fought. Haeon pretended to be scared, just like they learned in school. Why? Well, they had seen a newspaper article that said the bad guys never leave any witnesses behind. Even if they killed Kim Se-yoon, they wouldn't be safe from the bad guys. So, Haeon told her squad to act like they were following the bad guys' lead. Se-yoon teased Haeon, saying she acted really cool instead of being scared. Haeon joked back, "Does it really matter when you're trying to convince a crowd?" They were having a fun moment, but then there was a loud rumbling sound. The ceiling started to open up, and they thought it might be Il-jung, the troublemaker. But someone told Se-yoon that Jin-sun had tricked Il-jung into going upstairs. Se-yoon found it hard to believe. She didn't think Jin-sun, who was just a trainee with good stamina, could pull that off. In the dimly lit hallway, Seung-hwa's heart raced as he stood next to Se-yoon. They anxiously waited, their ears still echoing with the strange sound that had just reverberated through the air. Frightened by the unknown, Seung-hwa remembered the sound and glanced at the staircase. Without hesitation, he bolted upstairs, driven by urgency and concern for their friends, Gi-young and Jin-sung. Se-yoon's mind buzzed with thoughts, pondering what might unfold if Il-jung and Jin-sung crossed paths in a fierce battle. Despite her own vulnerability, she decided to follow Seung-hwa closely, determined to support their friends. On the higher floor, their footsteps echoed with apprehension as they approached the battlefield. The clash between Jin Sung and Il Jung had left the room in disarray. As Se-yoon cautiously opened the door, a grim scene greeted them. Lifeless bodies sprawled across the floor, bearing the indelible marks of a great sword's onslaught. Over 30 strikes had occurred, a testament to the prolonged combat Jin Sung had endured. Among the wreckage, a large hole captured Se-yoon's attention, stretching upward beyond the one on the lower floor. Her focus shifted as Gi-young and Jin Sung tumbled through the opening, their arrival followed by a frantic blade throw from Manhwa. The urgency to protect Jin Sung fueled their actions as they swiftly retreated, holding on to each other's hands. Confusion hung in the air as Se-yoon questioned why Jin Sung was attacking them. Jin Sung, his eyes glinting with malice, offered a sinister reply. It was time for them all to play. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Magic or martial arts? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. With a sinister grin and a dark aura, Jin Sung's intentions turned ominous. Se-yoon's expression flickered with a mix of fear and disbelief. Struggling to comprehend the transformation, Gi-young's voice broke through, reassuring Se-yoon that this was not the same Jin Sung they once knew. He had chased away the vestiges of Il Jung's influence, urging them to escape. As Se-yoon and the group fled, Jin Sung's voice echoed hauntingly. He taunted them, declaring that they were playing a deadly game. His words stung, and Se-yoon couldn't help but notice the beauty of his idea amidst the darkness. Yet, his potential was now twisted, a fact she found difficult to accept. With Jin Sung's onslaught approaching, Se-yoon faced an impossible choice. Swordless and drained of energy, she could only stall for time. As Jin Sung lunged, she skillfully evaded his attacks, each move calculated to maximize her limited defense. Observing Jin Sung's struggle to control his idea, Se-yoon empathized with his plight, his hardships mirroring her own. A flicker of emotion crossed Jin Sung's face, but it quickly hardened. He coldly bid Se-yoon farewell and unleashed a swift, deadly attack. His dagger slashed across her throat, sending her collapsing to the ground, the world fading to black. Amidst the darkness, the story rewound to Jin Sung's past. Elementary school marked the beginning, a time overshadowed by his parents' tragic demise at the hands of a robber. Alone and orphaned, he found solace with his socially awkward uncle and aunt. Both possessed F-rank idea, symbolic of their own struggles. His aunt's idea, a decaying rope, represented his fragile connections, while his uncle's rotting wooden bat embodied his harsh reality. Neglected and isolated, Jin Sung faced relentless torment, both in school and beyond. A beacon of hope appeared when he encountered a puppy at a playground. The bond between them grew strong, providing Jin Sung with a fleeting taste of companionship and happiness. Despite the hardships, the puppy became a source of light, a true friend who followed him with unwavering devotion. As the days passed, Jin Sung's connection with the puppy deepened. He lost track of time, losing himself in the joy of friendship. Returning home late was a trade-off to escape the harsh beatings. Yet, even his uncle noticed the puppy, prompting Jin Sung to take it home to avoid suspicion. One evening, as the sun set and dinner time approached, things took a turn for the worse. Poppy's barking got on the nerves of Jin Sung's uncle, making him really upset. Even though Jin Sung apologized, his uncle's anger flared up, and he pushed Jin Sung to the ground, scolding him for being careless. Poppy's barking continued, and it seemed like the whole situation was getting out of control. In a burst of anger, Jin Sung's uncle kicked Poppy hard, sending the poor dog crashing into the wall. The chaos didn't stop there. Jin Sung's uncle and some others tied him down and started to hurt him. It was a terrible beating, and all the while his uncle blamed Jin Sung's parents for raising him to be weak and proud. In the midst of the brutal attack, Jin Sung's uncle shockingly revealed that he was the one who had done something terrible. He confessed to murdering Jin Sung's parents, blaming it on their supposed weak genetics. This shocking revelation left Jin Sung speechless and utterly stunned. But the nightmare didn't end there. The anger inside Jin Sung's uncle erupted even more as Poppy, in a last act of loyalty, tried to protect Jin Sung. The result was tragic. His uncle ended Poppy's life. Jin Sung felt a weight of guilt and sadness, realizing that Poppy had only wanted to be his friend. The string of heart-wrenching events made Jin Sung question why his family was targeted in such a horrible way. A surge of anger and a strange feeling of wanting to hurt others started to well up within him. In a twist of fate, he grabbed a dagger and attacked his uncle, ending his cruel reign. But Jin Sung's fury didn't stop there. He turned the dagger towards his aunt and took her life as well. A twisted smile appeared on his face as he declared that killing them had been harder than not giving in to his murderous desires. The aftermath was chilling. Jin-sung found himself waking up in a hospital bed, his mind foggy with memories of the dreadful incident. A nurse comforted him, urging him to rest and recover from the splitting headache he was feeling. His thoughts drifted to the people he cared about, his classmates Sunghwa and Lee Seon. His concern for them was overwhelming. With anticipation, he awaited the arrival of Seyun, eager to see her alive and safe. But a haunting thought crossed his mind. How could he have caused so much trouble yet still function like before? He felt frustrated by his lack of control, but as he spotted Seyun approaching, a wave of relief washed over him. Seeing her unharmed filled him with gratitude, and he begged for forgiveness for his actions. The incident had closed both high schools for a week, causing shock and sadness throughout the town. The police were informed, and the consequences were dire, resulting in the tragic loss of lives. Through all the darkness and turmoil, Seyun emerged as a hero for standing up to Kim Il-jung. In the aftermath of the intense battles and challenges, things took an unexpected turn. Even as she endured countless interviews with reporters, Jin-sung remained in a deep coma for 3 whole days. During this time, the young girl showed remarkable strength by refraining from discussing Jin-sung's condition with anyone. She was a rock, pillar of strength, assuring Jin-sung that everything would be all right. She urged him to stop his tears, reminding him that Jin-sung meant no harm to her. She emphasized that there was no issue with his unique ability to bring his ideas to life, to manifest them. Once classes resumed, a palpable shift in the atmosphere was felt throughout the school. The students had fought valiantly against the menacing pest, and now they were perceived differently. Jin-sung, ever observant, overheard hushed conversations among his fellow students. Some wished to confront the criminals responsible for the chaos, to take them down just like the legendary Class 10 had done. As Jin-sung contemplated their words, a heavy realization dawned on him. His own idea had inadvertently caused immense suffering and even death, despite those affected being criminals. It was a solemn truth. No one deserved to die in such a brutal way. The weight of his power's consequences weighed heavily on Jin-sung's young shoulders. He knew he had to learn how to control his idea's power, to not be swayed by its influence. He sought guidance, a mentor who could help him master his abilities. And so he ventured to find Sungho, hoping that the experienced figure could offer the wisdom he desperately needed. In their conversation, Jin-sung posed a curious question to Sungho. Did the rank of one's idea affect the distance between their souls? Deep down, Jin-sung already suspected the answer, and Sungho confirmed his suspicions. Manifestations could indeed differ based on rank, but the soul itself remained untarnished by such distinctions. It was a lesson in the profound nature of one's essence. As their discussion continued, Jin-sung attempted to explain his perspective. He pointed out how performance varied based on the rank of an Ideya, which Sungho acknowledged. However, Sungho stressed that these differences didn't create rigid boundaries between souls. He questioned Jin-sung's motives, wondering if he was searching for confirmation in their conversation. This interruption led Jin-sung to contemplate even deeper truths, the very existence of leagues between souls. Jin-sung had always believed that his own twisted soul couldn't possibly belong to a higher league. After all, it harbored a desire to kill without discrimination. Admitting the existence of leagues would imply that his soul's purpose was rooted in murder, a chilling realization. Sungho reminded Jin-sung of his initial advice, encouraging him to work hard and put in the effort. Despite Jin-sung's doubts, he had continued to come to the school, showing determination. Sungho shed light on the world's intricate mechanics. In this realm, a higher-ranked idea correlated with greater combat ability. Jin-sung posed a thought-provoking scenario. What if someone with a lower-ranked idea exhibited exceptional combat skills? The answer was clear. The soul and the Ideya's rank became inconsequential in the face of true prowess. Sungho revealed a powerful truth about Jin-sung's presence at the school. He hadn't joined out of coercion. He had entered a realm where predefined leagues held no sway. His higher combat ability with a lower-ranked idea was a testament to this reality. In a moment of self-reflection, Jin-sung realized that he had been denying his own idea's potential. He had believed that his high-ranked yet corrupted idea couldn't be accepted. The question arose, had he become the answer he sought? Had he achieved a high combat ability with his B-ranked Ideya, embodying the very solution he had been searching for? Jin-sung shared a secret with Sungho, revealing his true idea, the one he had used in the squad battle. He unveiled that his F rank was, in fact, an impressive S rank. Sungho believed him, recognizing the sincerity in Jin-sung's words. There was no reason for him to lie, especially after he had played a pivotal role in defeating the pest. With honesty and vulnerability, Jin-sung confessed his fear of being controlled by his idea. He recounted the traumatic experience of losing his sanity in the bank, a moment when he had succumbed to his darker impulses. Sungho offered a solution to build a strong foundation of mind and body. He emphasized that self-love was crucial, as those who couldn't love themselves denied the effort they had invested. As Jin-sung pondered these words, a profound realization emerged. Loving oneself meant accepting all aspects, even the ones that brought pleasure from darker desires like killing. It was a journey of self-discovery, of finding balance and control over his own power. Sung-ho questions if he has put effort into becoming a murderer, urging him to love the side of himself that worked hard to overcome the murderous intent. He shares his own experience of 3 years in middle school, where he continuously lost and despised his weakness. Only by analyzing his idea and understanding his limits did he surpass them. He removes his shirt to reveal his ongoing dedication to becoming his best self. Inspired by some of those words, Ginsen resolves to surpass himself and embrace his true potential. The teacher addresses a group of students and informs them that firearms are ineffective against Idea manifestations, but chemical attacks pose a different threat. They are explained that once a person reverts to their normal human state, they will be killed. The 10th platoon is engaged in training exercises involving thick gas. Gi-young questions the purpose of practicing resistance and even attempts to escape during the training session. The training takes place during their chemistry class, and as a motivational measure, the students are instructed to recite the national anthem while surrounded by dense gas. However, when the training concludes, only Jin-sung reports as the representative of his class since all 10 of his classmates have passed out. He consistently ranks first in a range of training exercises, including basic training, crawl training, and individual battle training. His unwavering determination to surpass himself drives him forward. During stealth training, he exhibits remarkable skills, eluding detection until the platoon leader declares the session over. All of Jin Sang's accomplishments are meticulously documented in the report of the 10th platoon, handed over by his homeroom teacher to the principal. However, the principal deems the report insufficient as the 998 Infiltration Training Brigade is closing in. They are displeased with the high school receiving government support. The principal proposes short-term combat training for the second-year students, as the third-year students are already performing well. The next day during training, the students are carrying boxes. Jin-sung, seeking to further develop his muscles, decides to carry 2, earning him the nickname Mr. Excessive from Seon. The way everyone around him interacts with him undergoes a noticeable change due to his attitude toward everything. He asks Se-yoon if she wants to know more about his idea. She nonchalantly responds that other girls might have swooned, but she held back. Jinsen reveals that he already disclosed the information to Sung-ho. Se-yoon, determined to find out, grabs him by the collar and insists he tells her everything. He promises to share the details when they have some privacy. Meanwhile, Gi-young reflects on the intense and murderous aura he sensed emanating from Jin-sung on the day of the incident. Reluctant to accept the truth until it is confirmed, he wonders how it is possible that Il-young ran away in fear of Jin-sung. When Jin-soon inquires about the purpose behind moving the boxes, Se-yoon informs him that it is part of guerrilla training, also referred to as ranger training. The second-year students are clad in black uniforms and carry large bags reminiscent of those used in the army as they embark on their training journey. Se-yoon and Jin-sung, as always, stick together. She questions why Jin-sung, who used to detest HT and was dragged into it by Sung-ho, is now engaging in it so excessively. Jinsen responds by saying that Sunbae would have carried dumbbells in each hand as well. As they near the narrow bank, the site of the past incident, they are granted a break. During the break, some individuals approach Se-yoon and praise her, requesting her autograph. She realizes that this is the principal's tactic to advertise the school. The students become topics of conversation in the media, and even store owners have been approached by teachers beforehand as a means of promoting the school. However, this approach seems inhumane for the victims of the incident. Jin-sung also feels the same way, but he has made a decision that he is above his soul, believing that there are no walls within it and that he can change. As they continue their march, the principal discusses Se-yoon over the phone, mentioning that the route through the incident area is working out. He expresses his intention to encourage the students who were exhausted from the training as he sits in his car, stating that it is his role as the battalion commander. The march continues, and their next trail proves to be steep, prompting the teacher to instruct them to take a longer break. Se-yoon playfully teases Jin-sung with his nickname, Mr. Excessive, and offers him chocolate. Suddenly, a car stops in front of them, revealing the principal's presence. He asks Se-yoon if the march is manageable and treats Jin-sung differently, instructing him to address him as the battalion commander. The principal asks him to open his bag, seemingly looking for a mistake he made in following the packing list. Finding nothing, he points to something at the bottom of his bag and discovers sandbags he has for training. During the break, Se-yoon grows angry at the principal's attempt to smoke Jin-sung for something, but the teacher intervenes. Meanwhile, Sung-ho and Jui stand on top of the structure, with Sung-ho advising Jui to focus solely on Jin-soon, despite her pointing out that Jin-sung's rank is not worth much. Sung-ho reveals that Jin-sun ranks higher than the entire first squad, leaving her surprised and questioning who is higher than whom. Sungho explains to Juye that her evaluation of Jin-sung is based solely on a fight that occurred this semester, neglecting to consider the efforts he has put in during the past 2 months since joining HT. He urges her to see for herself and declares that this guerrilla training will be his solo stage. The building they enter is new and designed in a military style. Jin-sung is assigned the last number, 300, causing him to wonder if he is still at the bottom. All the students are instructed to quickly report to the PT center, and the voice on the speaker turns out to be Sungho. He introduces himself as the instructor for guerrilla training and announces that the students with the first numbers will be in room 1, while those with the last numbers will be in room 10, with the rest of the numbers filling the rooms in between. These numbers represent the rank evaluated by the school, but Sungho emphasizes that during this training, the score will be independent of their numbers. He reveals that guerrilla training will make up a significant percentage of their final grade, and explains that their combat rank may change dramatically after the announcement. The students are given a lunch break, but those with the ending numbers are left with almost nothing to eat. Jin-sung asks for food from Sungho and shares it with everyone. Grateful for his gesture, they express their gratitude and promise to repay him. Jin-sung asks them to make a different promise instead, not to give up on the training. Though initially discouraged by being the weakest 15 males in the school, they find inspiration in Jin-sung's determination, despite his rank, and aspire to be like him. They appoint him as the room leader, and all agree not to give up. The guerrilla PT training is scheduled for 3 p.m. During the training, the students appear exhausted, but those in room 10 show remarkable passion and give their best. Ju is surprised by their dedication. When the training ends, they are advised to check the Firewatch schedule posted on the pin board. The trainer calls out trainee 300 and awards all numbers of room 10 extra points, which fills them with joy. At night, Jin-sung anxiously waited for Seon, glancing at his watch. Seon approached Jin-sun, and she asked if he had been waiting long. Jin-sun reassured her that it's fine. She questioned their being together due to their ranking of 1 and 300, and inquired when he plans to escape the last place. He confidently told her that he will acquire a badge of rank, as he was the only trainee in his class. They cheerfully discussed the possibilities of him becoming a private, a corporate worker, or even a surgeon, always dreaming big. Seyoon mumbled that it might be a good idea. The next day, early morning training began, and everyone looked like zombies except for Jin-sun, who was 2 laps ahead of them. The instructor watched him with pride, while the nurse, who was also present, revealed to Jui that none of the room 10 guys received any medical treatment or time for recovery after yesterday's PT training. She was surprised and referred to them as a horde of zombies. Sungha found the name cool, and the extra points for the morning double time were mostly awarded to the boys from room 10, with Seyoon coming in second and Jin-sung consistently at the top. Another assistant instructor witnessed their training and couldn't believe that these were the weakest second-year students. He became scared when Jin-sun called out to him from behind, curious about something. Still, he thought that he seemed normal and decided to refresh himself by talking to him. Jin-sun asked to clear the obstacle course quickly, but if he survives against it, Sungho will call those who finish all the training stations to the PT training until everyone completes the obstacle course. Jin-sun and the other boys got excited upon hearing that the faster they clear the course, the more points they earn, and the longer the PT session will be. The assistant was shocked to realize that Jin-sun was the boss of the psychopaths. The instructor from earlier, and others observing the scene, asked how these boys managed to arrive so quickly, and whether they weren't instructed properly. The assistant explained that when 300 tells them to jump, all 14 of them jump. When he tells them to cross, they all cross. And when he tells them to climb, they all climb. They exchanged glances, realizing that Jin-sun was the one running away from the fight during the squad battles. They couldn't help but be surprised by the change in his behavior as he now encouraged everyone. After successfully clearing the obstacle course, they were ready to head to the PT room. The assistant instructor slapped his head and asked if he could switch out on day 3. Sungho announced that they would be doing training in the Idea training area due to the extreme heat. The purpose of this training was to ensure that trainees could continue combat using their Idea even when their stamina was at its limit. Unlike how they previously used their Idea in a normal state, the training aimed to bring out their hidden Idea power in an exhausted state, allowing trainees with strong willpower to contemplate how to use their Idea effectively. He added that this training focused on Idea power usage, specifically on breaking boulders. Each trainee could choose to break one, and they would switch if they could no longer manifest their Idea. He explained that some of them might feel disadvantaged, but he confidently stated that his Idea was a personal combat one. He demonstrated it on a boulder and effortlessly broke it. Jin-sung noticed that Sungho's strength, fueled by the sun's energy, had grown stronger. He realized he could now handle a considerable amount of weight when he was throwing objects. After he successfully broke the boulder, he turned to the trainees and encouraged them to do the same. Seyoon, the first to step up, confidently demonstrated her goblin swordsmanship. With a single swing, she effortlessly sliced the boulder into pieces, impressing everyone. Jui acknowledged, though, that Sungho's innate talent was on a completely different level. Next up was Gyung, who attempted to break the boulder using a rotten tree, but failed miserably. Sungho, always supportive, reassured him that his effort would still be considered when they were graded. Finally, it was the turn of the trainee from room 300. The other students discussed how he was the leader of the 10 trainees in the room. Jin-sung concentrated, manifesting his idea and initially summoning a dagger. However, something changed, and his aura began to shift. Gyung and Seiyun grew wary as they witnessed this transformation. Undeterred by the unsettling aura, Jin-san shattered the boulder into tiny, almost invisible pieces with remarkable ease. He struggled to regain control over his emotions and the murderous aura he had unintentionally unleashed. Sungho advised him to seek help if needed. Jin-sung didn't want to rely on others every time to control his abilities. He expressed his gratitude to Sungho for her assistance and explained that he had utilized his idea, partial murder with only a fraction of its power, earning him a ranking of A. He revealed that he had unleashed only his right hand, emphasizing that controlling more parts became increasingly challenging, dependent on his mental state. Proud of his achievement, Jin-sung shared the news with Seon, and his teammates joyfully lifted him in celebration. Later that night, Jin-sung knocked on the nurse's door, concerned about the trainees in room 10, who hadn't fully recovered their stamina. However, his homeroom teacher intercepted him, warning that coming here without permission could lead to punishment. The teacher displayed an unusual level of anxiety, seemingly concerned about other teachers discovering Jin-sung's presence. As they conversed outside the nurse's room, the door suddenly opened, revealing the teachers in a meeting. One of them mockingly referred to Jin-sung as the double F rank of Helen High, and questioned his reason for being there, insinuating he might be complaining about the training's intensity. The teacher then brought Jin-sung inside, where the rest of the teachers were discussing what to eat and playfully teasing Sungho. Though conflicted by their casual attitude, Jin-sung responded politely, stating that the training had been beneficial. His homeroom teacher, eager to see him leave, wondered if he'd come to complain. Jin-sung explained his purpose was to discuss stamina recovery for the Room 10 trainees. Before we continue, let's take a moment to shout out at Detective Iran 2076, who commented, "I like this story so much, thank you for introducing me to this. You really deserve more subscribers. You dropped this on our Trash Skills to SSS video. Thanks for commenting." The teacher checked the rankings and was astonished to find Jin-sung in the top spot. He questioned whether Jin-sung had paid off Sungho, or if Sungho had shown favoritism due to his HT status. The teachers were surprised to see all the Room 10 trainees ranking so high, speculating about a group bribe or manipulation. Jin-sung defended Sungho, asserting that he couldn't be influenced by money or favors. Jin-sung couldn't believe it. The teacher remained skeptical, questioning whether the remarkable performance in idea training was too good to be true. Jin-sung felt a surge of anger within him at the suspicion. How could they doubt him like this? But his homeroom teacher, understanding the gravity of the situation, stepped in. He assured Jin-sung that he would take care of it and offered to escort him back to his dorm. As they walked together, Jin-sung tried to calm himself down. He realized that maintaining a relaxed attitude was crucial in life, especially in such challenging situations. Once in his dorm, Jin-sung felt compelled to inform all the teachers about the incredible feat they were about to achieve. If the entire Room 10 could manage to secure a place within the top 30, it would be nothing short of a miraculous achievement. The teacher responded with a hint of amusement, saying that they would all be promoted to corporal if they succeeded. However, there was a catch. If a single person failed to make it to the top, they would all be demoted. It sounded like a joke, but Jin-sung knew the teacher was entirely serious. The teachers couldn't help but engage in friendly banter, proposing bets among themselves. They wagered $20 that at least one person from Room 10 would make it into the top 30, while Jin-sung and his classmates watched with a mix of curiosity and excitement. Just then, the nurse came outside and offered an apology, admitting that she should have attended to him more promptly earlier. Jin-sung, always brimming with confidence, decided to enlist her help in restoring their stamina and winning the bet. The nurse couldn't help but comment on his incredible self-assuredness. Upon his return to the training area, Jin-sung was met with an unexpected sight. His teammates were being bullied and physically beaten by some fellow trainees. The bullies were furious, accusing Jin-sung's group of tampering with a training boulder. They demanded to speak to their boss. Jin-sung hesitated, but realized he needed to take action. He decided to call Sungho for help. However, when he saw how the teacher was treating his group, he had second thoughts. The bully caught sight of him hiding and smirked, taunting him. Jin-sung tried to resist, knowing that the nurse would come to their aid eventually, but the situation escalated. The leader of the bullies used his idea to restrain Jin-sung, wrapping his arms and legs around him making it difficult for him to breathe. The bully continued to provoke Jin Sung, claiming there was no dirty trick he could pull at that moment. Jin Sung made a choice. He decided to let the bully have his moment, knowing that the nurse would heal them afterward. His teammates tried to intervene, but their efforts were in vain. The bully taunted Jin Sung, suggesting that he should stay hidden if he was weak. One of Jin Sung's teammates revealed that he had witnessed everything when Jin Sung called Sung-ho. Even though Jin Sung had stopped them, they had still fought. This revelation made the bullies think less of their leader, but he remained unfazed. Jin Sung reflected on his teachings. He had always encouraged them never to give up, but if he fought now, they wouldn't get the ranked badge they desired. However, he realized that the badge wasn't what truly mattered to the zombie horde. He felt a sense of shame for momentarily forgetting his own advice. Summoning his ideya, Jin Sung manifested a dagger, but the bully scoffed at it, calling it weak. He challenged Jin Sung, asking what he could do with it. Jin Sung, however, called out to the zombie horde, urging them not to rely solely on ideya. He demonstrated this by using his physical strength to attack the bully, emphasizing that the bully was overly dependent on ideya and lacked physical strength. As Jin Sung's blows landed, the bully eventually passed out, overwhelmed by the physical assault. Jin Sung instructed his teammates to take out the trash, referring to the defeated bully. The next day in the training room, Room 10 once again surpassed the other rooms, proving their strength and unity. The nurse approached Jui and delivered the news. She had managed to barely restore Trainee 7, but he suffered from mental shock and couldn't participate in training. Furthermore, the Room 10 trainees who had been beaten up and barely recovered did not receive stamina recovery treatment. Sung-ho, the instructor, took action. He called trainee number 300 and deducted points from him due to the situation, causing him to drop back to rank 300. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.